There's a moment when a woman stops just noticing you and starts emotionally making space for you in her life. And most men miss that moment completely. Because when a woman is slowly falling for you, it usually doesn't look dramatic at first. She won't always say it. She won't always make it obvious. And no, it's not always about constant texting, flirting, or saying all the right things. Sometimes it's much quieter than that. Sometimes it shows up in the way she softens around you, in the way she remembers little things you forgot you even said, in the way she starts emotionally leaning closer without even realizing she's doing it. And if you don't understand female behavior, you'll probably misread it. You might think she's just being nice. You might assume she's just friendly. Or worse, you might pull away right when she's finally starting to let you in. So if you've been wondering whether she's slowly falling for you, pay close attention, because the signs women show are often subtle, emotional, and deeply psychological. And the last one is the sign most men underestimate, even though it reveals more than almost anything else. Let's get into it. The first sign she's slowly falling for you is she starts giving you access to the softer version of herself. A lot of men only notice attraction when it looks bold, playful, or physical. But here's what women actually notice in themselves first: emotional softness. When a woman likes you on a deeper level, she begins to drop the hard edges she uses around most people. She becomes less guarded, less performative, less put together all the time. She might start talking to you in a gentler tone. She might stop trying so hard to seem unaffected. She might let you see her when she's tired, overwhelmed, awkward, or emotionally off balance. And no, this doesn't mean she suddenly becomes weak. It means she's beginning to feel emotionally safe. Most men don't realize this, but emotional softness is expensive for a woman. She doesn't give that to just anyone. If she starts letting you see the parts of her that aren't polished, the thoughtful side, the shy side, the emotional side, that's not random. That's trust beginning to grow. And this is where everything changes. Because once a woman starts feeling safe with you emotionally, she begins paying attention to how you handle her heart, not just her attention. Which leads to the second sign. She starts remembering the little things you say. This one is powerful because it reveals emotional investment. When a woman is slowly falling for you, your words stop being background noise. She starts storing details about you in a way that feels almost unconscious. You casually mention your favorite childhood snack, and 2 weeks later she brings it up. You tell her about a stressful thing happening at work, and she checks in later without being reminded. You mention a song, a memory, a random preference, and somehow she remembers it. Most guys completely miss this sign because they think attraction is only about how much attention she gives in the moment. But what she remembers about you says more than what she says to you. Women emotionally attach through meaning, and when she starts holding on to your little details, it usually means you're taking up mental space in her world. That's a big deal, because women don't deeply remember men they feel nothing for. They remember men who emotionally land. And what she does next is even more revealing. She starts finding reasons to keep the conversation going, even when there's no real reason to. This is one of the clearest signs of growing attachment. When a woman is slowly falling for you, she doesn't always want the interaction to end. So instead of letting the energy die naturally, she creates small openings to keep you around. She sends a random meme. She asks a question she could have Googled. She replies to something hours later just to reopen the door. She brings up something small that happened during her day, not because it's important, but because she wants you involved in it. And that matters. Because when a woman wants emotional closeness, she starts inviting you into the unimportant parts of her life. That's how attachment quietly builds. A lot of men misread this and think she's bored, or she just likes attention. But here's what women actually feel internally. If I keep talking to him, I get to stay emotionally connected to him a little longer. That's not casual. That's emotional pull. And if she does this consistently, pay attention. Because the more a woman likes you, the more she starts looking for continuity, not just chemistry. Which brings us to sign number 4. She starts testing how emotionally present you really are. Now this one is subtle, and if you don't understand women, you'll probably get confused by it. When a woman begins falling for you, she often becomes more emotionally observant. She starts watching how you respond to her moods, her vulnerability, her energy shifts, and even her silence. She may not say, "I'm testing you," but emotionally, that's exactly what's happening. She might pull back slightly just to see if you notice. She might tell you something personal and quietly watch how you handle it. She might tease you, challenge you, or emotionally expose a small insecurity just to feel whether you're safe, dismissive, patient, or careless. This is not always manipulation like some men assume. A lot of the time, it's fear. Because when a woman starts liking you for real, the emotional stakes rise for her too. She starts wondering, can I trust him with the real me? Will he become cold if I get attached? Is he emotionally mature or just charming? Most men don't realize this, but women often don't test because they want drama. They test because they want reassurance without asking for it directly. And if you stay calm, grounded, and emotionally consistent during those moments, she feels something powerful: security. And once a woman starts feeling emotionally secure with you, she begins opening up in a much deeper way. But before we get to that, if you've ever noticed a woman doing one of these signs, comment, "I've seen this" below. I'm curious how many of you have actually experienced this in real life, but didn't realize what it meant at the time. Now let's keep going, because this next sign is where things start becoming much more personal. She starts including you in her inner world. This is different from just talking. A woman can talk to a man all day and still not feel emotionally close to him. But when she's slowly falling for you, she begins letting you into the deeper layers of who she is: her thoughts, her fears, her private opinions, her emotional patterns, the things she doesn't casually reveal to everyone. She may start telling you how she really feels about love. She may share old heartbreaks she doesn't normally talk about. She may tell you what actually stresses her out, what makes her overthink, what she secretly wants, or what she's still healing from. And this matters more than most men realize, because women don't just fall through attraction, they fall through emotional intimacy. The moment she starts inviting you into her inner world, she's no longer just enjoying your presence. She's starting to emotionally connect your presence with comfort. And that's dangerous in the best way, because once a woman starts associating you with emotional relief, she begins craving your energy without always wanting to admit it. That's when attraction becomes attachment. And what happens after that is something most guys completely overlook. She starts caring how you see her. Now be careful here, because this one is deeper than simple validation. When a woman is slowly falling for you, your opinion begins to matter to her in a more personal way. She notices how you react. She notices what impresses you. She notices what makes you smile, what makes you go quiet, what makes you lean in. And slowly, she starts becoming more emotionally aware of how she lands in your eyes. She may ask what you think more often. She may care more than usual about how she looks around you. She may replay certain conversations afterward and wonder if she came off the right way. She may even get a little self-conscious in moments where she normally wouldn't. Why? Because emotional attachment creates emotional exposure. Once she starts liking you deeply, rejection hits differently. Most guys completely miss this sign because they assume confidence means she doesn't care. But even strong, self-aware women become softer and more emotionally alert when they genuinely care about a man. Not because they're insecure, but because they're invested. And that investment often shows up in the smallest behaviors. But here's where everything becomes impossible to fake. She starts making room for you in her future, even in tiny ways. This is one of the clearest emotional signs of all. When a woman is slowly falling for you, she begins imagining you beyond the present moment. Not always in some huge dramatic forever way at first. Sometimes it starts small. She casually says, "You'd actually love this place." She talks about something happening next month and naturally includes you in the idea. She sends you something and says, "This reminded me of us." She references future experiences as if your presence there feels natural. That is not just flirting. That is emotional projection. It means somewhere in her mind, you're no longer just a current interaction. You're becoming part of the emotional picture she's quietly building. And women don't do that with men they feel indifferent about. When she starts making future space for you, even subtly, it means she's not just enjoying what you are now. She's beginning to wonder what you could become. And that is where feelings get real. But the final sign is the one that changes everything. And if she does this, there's a very good chance her feelings are already much deeper than she's saying. The strongest sign she's slowly falling for you is she lets herself be emotionally affected by you. This is the one. Because when a woman truly starts falling, your presence begins to touch her emotionally in ways she can't fully hide. Your attention affects her mood. Your distance affects her energy. Your words stay with her. Your inconsistency confuses her. Your warmth softens her. Your absence feels louder than she expected. This is the sign most men underestimate because it doesn't always look dramatic on the outside. Sometimes it looks like her going a little quieter when you pull away. Sometimes it looks like her pretending not to care when she actually does. Sometimes it looks like her becoming more sensitive, more thoughtful, more emotionally responsive around you. And no, that doesn't mean she's too emotional. It means she's attached enough to feel your impact. That's what falling actually is. Not just liking you, not just flirting with you, not just enjoying your attention, but being moved by you. That's when a woman is no longer just curious. She's emotionally involved. And once a woman reaches that point, she usually starts fighting two feelings at the same time. the desire to get closer, and the fear of getting hurt. That's why some women seem warm one day and distant the next. That's why some signs feel mixed. That's why she may not say exactly how she feels, even when her behavior is revealing everything. Because when a woman is slowly falling for you, it often doesn't come out as a confession first. It comes out as softness, attention, emotional memory, investment, future space, and emotional vulnerability she can't fully control. So if you see these signs, don't just assume she's being nice. Look deeper, because most men spend their whole lives waiting for obvious signals, while completely missing the quiet ones that actually mean the most. And if you want to understand women on a deeper level, not just what they say, but what they truly feel, then you need to start noticing the emotional patterns behind the behavior. That's where the truth always is. If this opened your eyes even a little, subscribe, because there's a lot more women notice, feel, and reveal that most men never get taught. And once you understand that, everything in dating starts to make a lot more sense.